The #1 promo of the summer for FC25 has not even come out yet. It wasn't Team of the Season. That was very poorly executed this year in comparison, especially to previous years. A good promo just thrown down the drain by EA Sports. The Shapeshifters promo wasn't it. That seemed to drag on and on and on forever. It's not even Fuddies, which has been fun. I've liked this promo, especially in comparison to the last few. But it's the beginning of the FC26 grind that is getting everybody excited. That's what I'm excited for, is the start of the next year's grind. That's the best time of the year. It is for pretty much everybody. I don't know if that's the case for you guys, but I would say the general consensus is the beginning of the year is the most fun. Starting your Ultimate Team, getting off the ground. And today, we're going to go through all the things that you need to cover, not just with this upcoming promo, not just with your account, but everything you need to know to prepare yourself the best for the beginning of that grind, because if you don't, you're not going to have the head start that everybody else does. So today, let's get into the preseason promo for FC26. While it's technically a promo in FC25, it's going to give you these different packs that you can get for FC26. You're going to complete these objectives that will actually give you packs at the beginning of FC26 or possibly a little bit into FC26. Now, if we look back at FC24 going into FC25, we can kind of get an idea of this. Last year during this promo, you could get an 84 plus times 5, 82 plus times 5, 80 plus times 10, 82 times 10, and 81 times 7. Now, EA Sports have already said that they're trying to slow down the power curve. I don't think they're actually going to. Maybe we can expect some less packs from preseason in order to actually give people a little bit more time to grind with the lower ratings. I mean, you do the preseason promo in FC25 and you're already going into FC26 where bronze and silver cards are completely irrelevant, and so are pretty much any cards rated less than 81. Basically, you're going to have a team of like 83s and above very, very quickly with all of these rewards. And so that is a big advantage going into FC26. So being active during this preseason, there are some ways to get these rewards. Now, last year, reaching the final level on the season ladder gave you the big 84 plus times 5. And considering that this year they have the premium paid pass, what I would do is make sure that you've got 500,000 coins liquid in your account at least right now in FC25, ready to put those 500K towards the next season pass, because really, we don't care about the coins in FC25 anymore. They don't roll over into FC26. There's no point in really saving them, but make sure that if you don't have 500K, you at least have an ability to sell a card that'll get you up to 500K or something along those lines so that you end up having enough to get the premium pass, because I would assume EA Sports are going to at least put one of the FC26 packs behind a paywall. So that's something to prepare for early. Now, on top of that, also completing the preseason crafting upgrade 100 times. Obviously, we've been doing that every single time that one of these comes out. They've been coming out all the time in FC25 as well. And so completing that is going to give you another pack most likely in FC25 going into 26. One suggestion is I would get Pale Tools if you haven't yet. What you can do is through that daily grind that we've had on the game so far, you of course can get a ton of packs from that daily grind, and throwing those bronze cards and the silver cards into the grinding upgrade will give you a ton of these grind packs if the store ever loads for me. But these grind packs, I still got 258 of them to open. You open those packs, they turn in to enough fodder to do the crafting upgrade automatically. So in theory, it could only take you like 3 or 4 days if you didn't want to spend any coins on actually even buying any cards, which you could always go out and buy bronze cards as well. And then doing 100 of those crafting upgrades give you these 5x77s, which at this point, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to open all of these before FC26 even comes out, but I will rip a 50 player pack just for fun while we're here. I do have a lot of SBC storage open, so I can see if I can pack a footies. All right, it's not a footies. We're going to go back to talking about what we were talking about. Anyway, the other ways that you can get some of these packs are for objectives. For the Club 1 was an objective last year that you had to play a few games to actually complete. It's not really all that difficult. It's nothing beyond any of the other objectives we've seen throughout the year. It might be like 7 or 10 games, and then you've also got For the Club 2 as well. And these are the kind of objectives that are actually going to get me playing the game again, because I haven't really been playing much gameplay recently. Even if you've been watching my YouTube shorts and my TikToks, which, by the way, follow me at Nitro Gaming FC on TikTok. The link will be down below. I need to hit 10,000 followers on there. Right now we have like 200, so I can use all the help we can get, but I have to monetize that TikTok eventually, and so maybe you can help me out with doing that. But For the Club 2, For the Club 1's going to actually get me getting gameplay, even though I did just pack Lamine Yamal. I don't really have any desire to actually get into the gameplay. And then Road to FC 25 Evolution was another objective last year that ended up giving you an 81 plus times 7. So all of that is what we can expect from this upcoming preseason promo. And as you guys have basically seen right here, and I've kind of already showed you, this is officially from EA Sports last year that these carry over into the next game, whereas your coins don't do so. So you want to put any of your resources in FC 25 into these objectives to complete them. And then you just have to log in by the 10th of November or sometime similar to actually get those rewards. But that's not the only way to prepare for this next game, guys, because we also are going to have welcome backpacks in FC 26. Now, if you're newer to Ultimate Team, you might not have had these yet, because if you have an account that's already been playing the game for a year or 2 years, the longer you play, the longer you get, the more rewards you get, basically. Welcome backpacks are going to be in FC 26. Now, if you're somebody like me who has multiple accounts, maybe if you have one that is an FC founder, that is the one you want to actually be preparing to play in the next game. However, if you haven't been playing on your FC Founders account, the problem is that once you get this next game, you're going to have a lot of issues with welcome backpacks. One, you haven't played enough during the previous cycle to actually qualify for welcome backpacks, so you won't end up getting them. Now, you could start now. A lot of times, the deadline for EA Sports' code is like mid-August, so you do have a couple of weeks, but it is risky. If you haven't been playing on your FC Founders account, maybe it would just be more worth it for you to actually just stay on whatever account you've been playing on, accept the fact that you're not going to get the most welcome backpacks, but in the end, you'll have access to the transfer market when the web app comes out. You'll have at least some welcome backpacks rather than taking the risk on not having anything. If you haven't been playing on that account, EA Sports know you haven't, and they'll restrict that account. That's why a lot of people, they'll log into the web app at the beginning of the year when it drops, and they won't have transfer market access. That's why. They haven't been playing on that account enough, and they're wondering, well, why am I restricted? I didn't break any rules. You didn't break any rules, but you didn't prepare your account early enough. So I want to let you guys know that. And also, maybe if you haven't been logging in over the course of the summer or since like Team of the Year, like I mentioned, maybe dust off those cobwebs, log in a couple of times, maybe play a game, and just make sure that the system recognizes that your account is active as we go into this next year. That's something that I would very highly recommend, because every single year we run into a lot of issues where people just don't have access to the transfer market and they're wondering why. That's one of the biggest reasons why. For the final minute of today's video, I do want to quickly run through some of the non-Ultimate Team changes, but before we do that, make sure you subscribe so you miss out on none of my FC 26 content that's on the way. Now, first off, we're going to get some quick chat options in FC 26 that we've already kind of seen in that Rush game mode. Maybe these will also be in Pro Clubs. I'm not sure, but they are adding What a Save, which we've seen in Rocket League, if you've ever played that. It is very toxic and probably going to be very, very prevalent in Rush. It's actually kind of funny, but it's not going to be that funny when you give up a goal. So For the last minute of today's video, we're going to quickly run through some of the non-Ultimate Team changes we're going to expect for FC26. But before we do, don't forget to subscribe to Nitro Gaming right now and follow my TikTok down below. Don't miss out on any of my FC26 content or preparation. Now, we are going to have new quick chat options in Rush, maybe in Pro Clubs. One of them is What a Save. As you can see, Donk says it will be spammed. That is no exaggeration. And a couple of the other ones. I like Lock In, you know. I think we need something like that. We didn't have something that can, it's like motivational, but I'm being stern at the same time. I'm like, hey man, I believe in you, but you're not playing well. Lock in. That's perfect. And then some other things like Cold. I like that as well. We are also going to see a new Pro Clubs lobby, a little bit of an upgrade. And on top of that, we really haven't seen much Pro Club changes at all over the last few years. Just some minor things, especially with the play styles. The play styles were a good addition to change Pro Clubs up a little bit. Obviously, play styles were a thing kind of in every game mode, but it was something that changed Pro Clubs a little bit. We are going to see somewhat of a change going to the Pro Clubs lobby right there. A little bit of an upgrade to that. The old squad menu screen is coming back to all consoles and platforms. We're going to have new archetypes to progress the system in clubs. And that's a big difference because it's kind of been the same little skill tree for a while now. They've added different things to the skill tree, sure, but it's the same concept over and over and over again. Well, next year, we're going to see something a little bit different, where you can add these archetypes to the players, and that also helps get you a better player. And on top of that, let me show you one last thing about Pro Clubs. As your player gets better, your player is also going to get a certain card, like a collectible card, similar to how you see in Ultimate Team, where you get yourself a rating, like a silver card right there. You get different stats on the left side, and kind of like an archetype there on the bottom. So you're actually going to get to design kind of your own player, and the higher in level you go, the better the card is going to look, which this is needed. Like, Pro Clubs is probably the most fun game mode in Ultimate Team. It's obviously not the one I play the most. It's not the one I make content on very much, as I'm an Ultimate Team guy. But when it comes to actually having fun, Pro Clubs is fun if you've got the right group to play with, and you don't even have to be winning sometimes, and it's still fun. So I like Pro Clubs. I'm glad that they're actually putting a little bit forth effort towards Pro Clubs. So that's something to look forward to in FC26. I've been pretty bleak about a lot of the FC26 content, and I'm still EA Sports' biggest hater, but we can't have a negative video every single time. So maybe this was like a little bit of a breath of fresh air for some of my active subscribers. So thanks for watching to the end. If you guys actually want to see some Pro Clubs content, type the word clubs down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.